Avenue Road.
Yes.
Can you spell the street name for me, please? Ma'am. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Ma'am, I need to know your address. Avenue Road, can you please spell it?
Helen Avenue. My dad just went outside screaming.
Ma'am, can you spell the street address for me, please?
N-E-L-E-N. So broken, and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs.
November 8th, 2010, Markham, Ontario, Canada. That evening, armed men entered the Pan family home. According to Jennifer Pan, it was an ordinary home invasion that suddenly turned into a tragedy. She told police that 3 men entered the house, tied her up, demanded money, and then took her parents to the basement. Her mother, Bichha Pan, was killed. Her father, Han Pan, was seriously wounded but survived. Jennifer herself remained alive and was almost unharmed. And from the very beginning, this seemed strange to the police. When Jennifer called emergency services, she sounded frightened. She claimed that she was tied up inside the house, that her parents had been attacked, and that the attackers had already left.
Take your time.
Where are you?
Avenue.
Take your time.
Sir, let me go through the form. The radio recording's on. Okay, just so you're aware, I'm going to read through this form with you. This is a sworn video statement form. Okay, do you understand the criminal consequences of making a false statement?
Yes.
So just say your name and just say,
My name is Daniel Wong, and
just speak up a little louder.
my name is Daniel Wong, and
Yeah.
I give consent that this is being taped.
Okay, good. What time did you get home?
It was Monday. Monday I got home at about 9 to 10:30, somewhere around that time.
Okay, so you've been in trouble with the police, right? For drugs?
I've been in trouble with possession and trafficking, but I stopped. Like, as soon as I got in trouble, I didn't really do anything else.
Okay. So tell me about your relationship with Jen.
I'm actually her ex-boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had a relationship near the end of high school.
Okay.
And we sort of continued it until about 2 years ago.
Okay.
So then we just couldn't. We actually didn't. We were planning to stay together, but there was a big issue with her parents, sort of thing.
And what was that?
Her parents were very strict. They pretty much drove her to the path where there's no time for a relationship.
Is there other reasons?
Probably because I didn't make enough money. Like, I was working at Boston Pizza, and they didn't approve of that. You know, we've been together for 7 years, and I haven't really formally sat down and just ate dinner with them, anything like that.
Okay. So,
And then she wanted to continue the relationship. And I told her, well, you know, your parents.
At first glance, everything looked like a brutal home invasion, but the more investigators studied the crime scene, the more questions appeared. Why did the criminals leave Jennifer alive? How was she able to call the police if she was tied up? Why were valuable items still left inside the house? Why did the robbery look so unconvincing? Police began checking every detail. Jennifer said that the attackers had tied her up near the staircase, but investigators asked her to show exactly how she had managed to reach the phone and dial emergency services. This became one of the first serious doubts in her story. During the second interview, which took place in November, police were already trying to understand whether her version was physically possible. But the real turning point came later. Jennifer's father, Han Pan, survived. He regained consciousness, and told police something that completely changed the direction of the investigation. According to him, during the attack, Jennifer did not look like a helpless victim. He said that he saw her speaking calmly, almost in a friendly way, with one of the attackers. He also claimed that at that moment she was not tied up the way she had described to police. After that, Jennifer's version began to fall apart. Investigators no longer looked at her only as the surviving daughter. Now she became a suspect. On November 22, 2010, Jennifer was called in for another interrogation. This was the third and most important interview. Detective William Bill Getz began the conversation calmly. He did not immediately accuse her directly. First, he allowed her to repeat her story again. Jennifer continued to insist. It was a robbery. She was a victim. She knew nothing, but the detective already had more information. Police had phone records, messages, and connections between Jennifer, her former boyfriend Daniel Wong, and other people who would later become involved in the case. During the investigation, it became clear that Jennifer had been living a double life for years. She had lied to her parents about school, about her future, about work, and about her relationship. Her parents believed she was studying and building a successful career, but in reality, most of that life had been invented. When her parents discovered her lies, they began controlling her even more. They forbade her from seeing Daniel Wong. For Jennifer, this became a breaking point. According to the prosecution, she, together with Daniel Wong and other participants, organized the attack on the house in order to get rid of her parents and gain freedom, as well as possibly receive inheritance money. In court, the prosecution argued that the motive included a desire to escape family control and financial gain. During the interrogation, Goetz used psychological pressure. He told Jennifer that police supposedly had technology that could verify her words, satellite images, thermal data, and other evidence. In Canada, police are allowed, within certain limits, to lie to suspects about the evidence they have during an interrogation. Jennifer began to change her story. She admitted that she knew about the people who came to the house, but she tried to present everything differently. She said that she had hired them not to kill her parents, but supposedly to kill herself. According to her, she was tired of being a disappointment to her family and wanted to die. But this version did not convince investigators. The problem was in the details. If the plan was to kill Jennifer, why was her mother killed? Why was her father seriously wounded? Why did Jennifer herself stay alive? Why did the attackers act as if they knew where to go and what to do? Why were there messages and phone calls between Jennifer, Daniel Wong, and the other participants before the attack? At trial, the prosecution used phone records and text messages as an important part of the evidence. According to reports, in the hours before the attack, more than 100 messages were sent between Jennifer and Daniel Wong. One of the messages sent before the attackers entered the house was interpreted as a signal to begin the plan. After the interrogation on November 22nd, Jennifer Pan was arrested. Later, other people involved in the case were also arrested: Daniel Wong, Lenford Crawford, David Milvaganam, and Eric Carty. In 2014, Jennifer Pan and several of her accomplices were found guilty of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and conspiracy to commit murder. She was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. But the story did not end there. In 2023, the Ontario Court of Appeal overturned the first-degree murder conviction in relation to the death of Bitch Pan and ordered a new trial on that part of the case. However, the conviction for the attempted murder of Han Pan remained in place. In April 2025, the Supreme Court of Canada upheld that decision. A new trial on the charge connected to the murder of her mother must be held, but the convictions for the attempted murder of her father remain. This does not mean that Jennifer was fully acquitted. It means that the court found that the jury in the first trial should have been given the option to consider not only first-degree murder, but also lesser charges, such as second-degree murder or manslaughter. The main tragedy of this case is that it did not begin with a sudden argument or a random attack. It began with a long chain of lies. For years, Jennifer created the image of a successful daughter for her parents. She hid her failures, her relationship, her real life, and her decisions. When that lie began to collapse, she did not stop. Instead of confessing, she went even further. And in the end, that lie led to the death of her mother, the severe wounding of her father, and one of the most famous criminal cases in Canada. Jennifer Pan's interrogation became so important not because she immediately told the whole truth, but because it was there that it became clear. Her story could not survive verification. Every new detail opened another crack. Every answer created another question. And the longer she spoke, the clearer it became. This was not an ordinary robbery. It was staged. And the person who called herself a victim turned out to be at the center of the plan that destroyed her entire family.